grand morning. You know what's amazing is it doesn't matter what time you're watching this, whether it's morning, whether it's afternoon, whether it's evening, it doesn't matter because the truth is time is something we created. It's nothing more than an illusion. So the time is now, this moment. And you're here because you're ready for this. So let's start with placing our hands on our heart and let's take a deep breath together. And hold. And let go. Take another breath. And hold. And let go. Let's just take our arms. We're gonna move them counterclockwise. Let that energy flow and move. Alright, do a little move around. Put our hands on our heart and take a deep breath again. And hold. And let go, and we just say body and mindset of the fallen matrix, the lies that we've been told, completely deactivate, turn off. We say the body and the mindset of the divine creation, fully activate, fully turn on. So I want you to take a moment, and I want you to really sit with this question that I'm about to ask you. And the question is this: what actually happens the moment you place a boundary? What happens? Not the idea of a boundary either. Not the quote of a boundary. Not the concept of a boundary. But the real, lived moment where you say no. Where you pull back. Where you stop participating in the way you used to think and the way you used to participate. You know, because most people think boundaries bring peace immediately. I got something to tell you. They don't. That's not what happens at first, okay? So that's an illusion in itself that thinks that if I put a boundary, I'm going to have instant peace. No, you got to fight for that boundary. At least that's what the world wants to make you believe. So what happens is first is resistance, and then is confusion and then pushback, misunderstanding. And today we're going to go into something deeper than surface level advice, to be honest. Today we're going to actually going to talk about the moment you choose peace. And unfortunately, you became the villain in someone else's story at that point. And if you don't understand this, you will break your own boundary just to protect your image. So I want you to understand this. See, understand something very clearly. This world, family, everything around it, you were trained to be good, not whole, not real. Good, and good had a definition. Be agreeable, be understanding, and be patient. Be patient. And give people chances, we were taught that. Don't be too much. Don't be difficult, and psychology explains this clearly even. From a young age, we are conditioned through reward and punishment. Approval becomes safety, disapproval becomes threat. And so what happens? Your nervous system learns something, right? If I am seen as good, then I must be safe. But this goes deep into the brain. It becomes a program. The interior, gingulates the cortex, the part of your brain that processes social pain, activates similarly to physical pain when you feel rejected. That's why it hurts so deep. So being seen negatively literally hurts, which is why you worked so hard to be accepted. and to be understood, and to be seen correctly, to be good. But it's not truth. But here's the truth, and most people never realize this. In unhealthy environments, your goodness becomes predictable. And what is predictable can be controlled. Toxic dynamics do not operate through truth. They operate through engagement. They accuse, not to resolve, but to keep you responding. Because as long as you are explaining yourself, you are still in the system. Think about it. How many times have you said, "That's not what I meant. You're misunderstanding me. I would never do that. You're putting words into my mouth." And yet nothing changed. Right? Because the goal was never understanding. The goal was your reaction. The goal was your reaction. Neuroscience calls it this a loop. The loop. Your brain seeks resolution. But when resolution never comes, you stay engaged. Cortisol stays elevated and your body stays alert. You keep trying, and this is where exhaustion begins. So here's the forbidden question. What if you stop defending your innocence to people who have no intention of actually seeing it? They already got a one goal set mind. So the moment you stop defending, everything changes. Because now you are no longer playing your role. And when you stop playing your role, the system reacts suddenly and you're different. You've changed. When it's neuroscience called Karens having their head and dying and highlighting. I don't know, man. You maybe figure that out yourself because it looks like you're just looking for a reaction like what we're talking. You're wanting to get a response. But you know what's funny? That's something from you. And as a reflector by genetic design, then I guess you would be asking yourself what's causing you to be a Karen. I don't know. Go ask yourself that. So the thing is this, what happens when you put your boundaries down? You say, "Nah, I'm not doing this game." You've changed. You're being distant. You're rude now. You're selfish. And it can feel disorientated because you're not doing anything extreme. You're just not overgiving anymore. But from a physiological perspective, this makes sense. When someone benefits from your lack of boundaries, your boundaries feel like a loss to them. And a loss often turns into blame. So they don't say, "I lost access to you." They say, "You become the problem." And this is where many people collapse because your identity is being challenged. And if your identity is built on being good, you will want to fix it. You'll want to explain, you will want to return to who you were. But if you do that, you abandon yourself again. See, this is where philosophy enters because this moment is not just emotional, it is existential. And who you are and who are you? And if you are not seen as good, who are you? If you are misunderstood, Carl Jung called this individuation, the process of becoming who you are. Outside of who you are, conditioned to be, and part of that process feels like loss. Loss of identity, loss of approval, loss of belonging, but it's not actually loss, it's shedding. And this is what ego death really is, not destruction, but release. And the release of identity, well, that needed validation to exist. So, and when that identity starts to dissolve, your nervous system panics because it thinks you are losing safety. But you're not. You're losing dependency. And there's a big difference. I mean, let's go deeper. Why is it that the person who sees the truth often becomes the scapegoat in families and friendships and groups? even in online in circumstances like this. The one who questions, the one who notices patterns, the one who stops participating. They become the target, as you've seen, you know? And by the way, when you see statements that start with you statements, as awakened, as one who's worked through their stuff, you know that that means they're talking about themselves. It projects right back at them. So be aware, whichever you place here, that the moment I see a you, that's your projection of your own self, because you can't see anything in another person without it being you first. That's the only reason why we see things in another person. So I hope that you can discover healing in your life and continue to look into the mirrored image, which is at thyself, so that you can come into the stance of I am that I am. And you won't have to feel like you have to project your illusions onto other people and try to wheel them into your disorientation that you have going on within you. See, I sit in peace and sleep like a baby every night. And with your projection and idea of something on the outside, well, comments like that may go, well, you don't know me. And so therefore I wouldn't accept anything from you. See, the one who questions and the one who notices patterns, which is what we do, we stop participating in the BS. We stop allowing to become the target. Why? Because the systems are designed to maintain themselves. And the person who sees clearly disrupts the system. Gnostic teachings speak directly to this. And they say that much of reality is shaped by illusions, roles, identities, expectations placed upon you. And awakening is seeing you through it, is seeing right through it. Not intellectually, but internally. And once you see, you cannot pretend anymore. So the system responds the only way it knows how to. What does it do? It labels you right here. We see that in the examples down below. And it projects onto you, again, as seeing right there. And it tries to pull you back into the role, just like that. And if that role was the scapegoat, then you were never weak. You were aware. And awareness is threatening and anything built on illusion. See, let's bring this into the body. Before you understood it, you feel it. When you're around certain people, before they even speak, your body tightens. You anticipate. You prepare. And this is your nervous system remembering. And when you start placing boundaries, your body will react to it. Guilt will rise, anxiety will rise, and the urge to fix things will rise. But here's what's important. That feeling. It's not truth, it's conditioning. It's your body adjusting to new way of being. And if you can sit through that discomfort without breaking your boundaries, something powerful happens. Your nervous system recalibrates. And eventually their words no longer land the same. They reach your ears or your eyes, but not your identity. And this is where you become sovereign. Not in control of others, but no longer controlled by them. You stop needing to be seen as good. You stop needing to be correct every misunderstanding. And you stop needing to defend your name. And something surprising happens is you become free. Free to be misunderstood. Fine. See me that image. I don't really give a rip. Free to be talked about. Go ahead. Slam me, talk about me. I don't give a rip. Free to not perform. And see, that's the thing. I'm free, man. You're still trying to find people to pick on. But see, to be free to not perform, to be free to be misunderstood, to be free to be talked about, and still at peace, like nature. I'm in nature. A tree don't give no shits. See, a tree, you don't see a tree out there going, yo, man, you know why I look like this? Because this is how it's... No. A tree does not explain itself. A storm does not apologize for its storm. It exists and it happened and it flies through and it cleans it up after. Well, no, we clean it up after, but it just exists fully. And so do you. And this world's trying to tell you can't. You gotta fit into my box. If you do this, well, then you're this. Whatever, man. Enjoy yourself. So if they call you difficult, let them. If they call you selfish, let them. If they call you the villain, let them. If they call you a Karen, let them. Because you are no longer living to maintain an image that they want to create for you. You are living in alignment with truth. And that means you will no longer betray yourself to be accepted. Oh yeah. Go ahead. Shoot fire and I don't care. You're not what they say you are. You are what remains. When you stop trying to be seen, and that is where your power really is. I don't care. It's all in your hands, man. The peace. We've held it this whole time. Perspective. Remember that. So peace and love. Go look in the mirror, people. It's the only thing we really have to look at. Stop wasting your time projecting yourself onto everyone else. Because the world's starting to wake up. And soon you'll be just stuck there. Words flying against a wall. Wake up. Remember. Peace and love.